Welcome to the Militia Gaming community. I'm Trigger, and this is the Japanese Custom Summit Guide. Let's go! Real quick before I get into the video, if you're looking for a community of racers to play with, join our Discord. There's a link in the description down below. That's also where I do all of my giveaways, and we have every topic in there from the Crew Motorfest, the Crew 2, to Need for Speed Heat, Need for Speed Unbound, everything Need for Speed, and all kinds of other racing games. There's over 14,000 members there, so hit that link and join us. All right, let's get into this. All right, first up, let's talk about the cars that you're going to need for this summit. The summit bundle includes the Nissan GT-R R34, the Toyota Supra A80, the Mazda RX-7 10th anniversary. Those are the three cars that you're going to need, and those are the three cars that I've got tunes for you. The other cars that you're going to be using in this summit are going to be loaners, so you won't have any pro settings and you won't be able to put any parts on them. You will be driving them just how they give them to you. You will need a couple of additional vehicles for the Feats in this summit, and that's a drag car of your choice and a hypercar of your choice with Nitro Chemist set of parts. That's what you're looking for. All right, the keys to this summit are going to be two things: the pro settings that you have on the non-loaner vehicles, and then the cuts that you're going to take on these events. The cuts are extremely important. They make up a lot of time in these races. So before we get into the events, let me show you my pro settings for each car. All right, let's get into the first event called Glow Up. In this event, there is one cut. It's at 21%. You can cut left up the hill and slide your car into the wall. It's a very tight switchback if you don't do this, which means you're going to be going slow around that corner anyways. So it's faster just to go through the grass at full speed, slide the car to hit the wall sideways, and then just start driving again. The other key to this race is gutter turns. Now, I don't have a ton of good examples in this because I'm not the best at these types of turns, but basically on these switchback style turns, what you want to do is hug the inside corner, put two wheels in the dirt, and feather the gas through the corner so that you can take that corner faster than if you were to slow down all the way and take it normally. This type of turning is used by all the super sweaty players throughout this entire game, including grand races, so use this technique if you didn't already know what it was. The next event is called Neon Light. There are no real cuts on this event, but at 50-ish%, there is the trickiest turn of the track, so I want to give you a little bit of advice as to how I usually take this turn. I usually slow down a tiny bit, even downshift if you're in manual, then I go wide enough to go through the tires that are on the right side instead of slowing all the way down in order to make that corner normally. It's totally up to you which way you want to do it, but it is faster to go a little bit wider, go through those tires, and then try to nos on the other side once you get straight. I know my clip here is not the cleanest, but this time was my fastest time that I ran, and I didn't feel like going back to do it again just to make this one turn cleaner. All right, the next event is called Strike a Pose. There's actually 4 different cuts in this one event. So at 17%, you can cut across to the right. I did it horribly in this clip, but if you clean it up and do it better than I did, you're gonna save a lot of time. At 34%, you can veer to the right into the dirt a little bit and then cut across to the left. You can go outside of the flags on these ones if you need to, so remember that and don't hit the wall on the right side. At 64%, you can cut the grass to the left before the bridge. Try not to tap the wall again, it will slow you down. And the same thing at 72%. You can cut the corner a little bit on the left, go through some of those crops, and make that corner a little bit easier than having to slow all the way down just to stay on the road. All right, let's move on to the next event called Flaunt Your Stuff. For this one, there is one cut that you need to know, and it's at 91%. You can go wide into the dirt and then cut straight towards the checkpoint. Then when you get to the checkpoint, you reset your car and it sets you straight and it gives you a little bit of speed. It would be a good idea to farm a little bit of NOS before going into this, because it's nice to have some NOS when you reset your car and have to go straight to the finish line. All right, moving on to Vanity Take. There are a lot of cuts on this particular race, and it's a lapped race. So there's no percentages for me to call out and tell you where to take these cuts. So I'm just gonna let my full first lap play out so you can see exactly the places where you should be cutting and should be resetting your car. Moving on to the last event, which is called Shine Bright. Again, there are a few corner cuts on this particular course, and it is a lapped race. I'll show you the lines that I take on this first full lap, and it's basically a rinse and repeat for the second and third lap. All right, lastly, let's talk about the feats for this particular summit. The slalom is up first. It is actually much faster if you take this slalom in the reverse direction from which you spawn. So basically spawn in, drive past it, and then turn around and go back through the slalom gate. Now, another key to this is to make sure that you have a full set of score breaker legendary parts with pure and skilled fully maxed out. It's better to run this in a slower car with those parts than it is to run it in a faster car without them. All right, moving on to the speed trap. This one's pretty simple, just like last week. You need to have a slipstream partner if possible, and the parts that you want, which I don't currently have, are a Nitro Chemist set with pure and frenetic. For drag cars, you definitely want frenetic as opposed to extra pump, because in this case, you're not going to be refilling your nitrous. You're going to be blowing it all in one press of the button. And lastly, let's talk about the escape. For this one, a hypercar is recommended. You definitely want to have that because they have the best handling and speed combination. And this one is also better to take in the opposite direction. So just go down a ways until you get to the edge of the green circle in your minimap, turn around, and then just follow the highway. There's only one real question mark, and that's when you get to the roundabout. You can just go straight across the roundabout. So the direction that you're heading, just keep going straight across it. Also on this one, it is best to have a set of Nitro Chemist parts with pure and extra pump. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, send me a DM. I read every single one of them. I was on vacation this week, but I still managed to get this out to you guys. I know it's a little bit late, and I think the audio quality might be a little bit different because I'm recording on my mobile setup here. So anyway, enjoy and let me know if you have any questions. I'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out.